Ladies and gentlemen, today's episode is a new one. Welcome back, everybody, to the Rainstorm. You guys always ask you should start a podcast, and I've always thought, I want to do something that's valuable, that helps people. Well, today, we are kicking it off. And you know what? I love this because I have to have a real honest moment here. I like having real, honest conversations with my fans. And so I told you guys the other day to call in on my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Raynday. And a lot of you guys are hanging out, but a few of you called in, about 6-7 of you called in, and I had some great conversations with each one of you. But today's conversation I want to upload here is really impactful if you want to be a content creator and you don't have a big enough vision for your life. A lot of people struggle with not really having direction. A lot of people have big goals, but they don't necessarily know what those goals look like to achieve. And a lot of people are working hard, but they're not working smart and hard. I talked about this in my latest tips video. Smart hard work always beats hard work. And I had a chance to talk to someone who knows hard work, an Army veteran, and talk about his story and how he wants to make it in this content game. And the conversation was really eye-opening. I think you guys and people who are struggling to be content creators will see yourselves a lot in that story. A lot of myths that we disperse, a lot of direction I give him. And so if you're interested in building content, or you just want to have be kind of a third wheel, a voyeur to a conversation between two content creators or an up-and-coming content creator, then I think this is going to be a great start. And again, you guys said you want these conversations. I want to give them to you. We have more coming down the pipeline, but I wanted to kick this off with a nice episode. Let me know what you guys think. A like would be appreciated. Otherwise, let's get into it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey, Raynday. It's an honor to meet you. How you doing?
What's up, man? How are you doing? What's your name?
Name's Alexander. Everybody calls me Rojas, though.
Rojas. Where'd you get that from?
I'm in the Army, so I'm used to being called by my last name.
Nice. Yeah, man. I did that in football, and I don't know why it always rubbed me the wrong way. Did it not bother you? I always felt a little depersonalized, but I guess that's the point in the Army, right?
I mean, not really. I mean, that's the point when you're going through like basic and AIT, is to kind of break you down, to build you all up as a collective group. But I don't know. I've always kind of disliked my first name because a lot of people are called Alex or Alexander, so I always felt a little unique to be called Rojas.
Really?
Yeah, I've been that way since high school.
Well, that's good, man. How old are you now?
I'm 24. I got 3 kids.
Oh, wow. Look at you. When did you have your first kid?
So my son was born January 30th, 2019, and then my twins were just born on Cinco de Mayo.
Wow.
This year, yes, sir.
Look at that. That's congratulations, man. I was gonna say
that.
2019. How'd you jump from 1 to 3? You had the twins. They surprised you, man.
Yeah, they definitely did. It was crazy because on my wife's ultrasound, I could see the one kid just fine, but off on the right, I kind of saw like a grayish dot, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's a second kid. Are we sure that's not a twin? And then yeah, like 2 weeks later, my wife's OBGYN confirmed it.
That is a beautiful thing, man. So how old are they now? They must be just youngins.
Yeah, they're less than a year. They're about just slightly over 3 months now.
That's awesome, man. So 24, been in the Army, 3 kids, you live in life, clearly love the game, correct? Are you trying to do this as a passion or a business?
A passion it started off as a passion, and obviously I want to do everything I can to grow my channel as much as I can, and I want to provide good content for people, and obviously just wherever it goes is where it goes. But I'm putting time, I'm putting effort into it. I'd like to put more time, but 3 kids, it takes up a lot of my time for sure.
Time right now is probably your most important asset. That's the thing that matters the most, especially with kids. I could imagine, I waste time here and there. I'm in the position, I don't have any kids, but even my family or my relationship, I can't imagine having little ones. I'd want to make sure I was doing everything as efficiently as possible to see all of their lives and be a part of it as much as possible. So I hear you, man. No. So let's see what we can do. What's not working? What's holding you back?
Honestly, I feel like a big part of it is people click into my channel because I share my stream anywhere I can. I'm a member of the Newegg Discord. I'm a member of the Apex official Discord, and so many other Discords, US Army Esports, and I share my channel, I promote it. But I feel like a big thing for me is just my overall content and the design layout of my channel. If you click into my channel, I know
Mm-hmm.
it's so bland. I mean, the background on the channel is just a galaxy wallpaper you can type in on Google Images. Like I feel like I'm lacking
Mm-hmm.
that that stuff that makes me unique, because
Mm.
there's a slew of Apex Legends stream. I mean, you're one of them. You stream Apex, and your
Mm-hmm.
channel is huge compared to mine, obviously, and it's just trying to find that niche environment that I can like kind of fit into. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So you think your art, your banner, your style isn't allowing people to find you, right?
Yeah.
Basically you're not standing out enough from the crowd to be seen.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's it, and then obviously time is the biggest factor for me. But a lot of it too, like I said, there's so many Apex streamers out there, and you click into you filter by the least amount of viewers, and you click
Mm-hmm.
into anybody's channel, and it's just going to be this bland, like blank chalkboard looking design and everything. And I want people to click into mine and be like, "Oh wow, this guy's great! Like he's not the greatest
Did
Apex player on the planet, but he has a good personality, and his channel looks cool, and
right.
he posts content, either daily or every other day or weekly even."
Well, so let's look at this. Okay, so you have the perfect banner. You get that art down. Somebody big donation, you go hire an artist. You get the banner right. You have work with a brand. Maybe even get a couple $1,000s out of nowhere. You start working with a brand, total redesign. Your package is beautiful. People come to your stream, it's undeniably beautiful. Um, does your life does it work now? Do you blow up, or is that it? Is that really it, that you're thinking that happens, or is there something else you would say? Well, maybe I would have to. I mean, I'm asking honestly because that means what I'm hearing is like, my art sucks, but if they saw my art, then they'd be like, then I'd be moving forward in my content creation career if I had that handled.
Um, I wouldn't peg it all on art. It's definitely not just one thing. It's always, obviously, it's a mix of things. I mean, I can't just rely on my art and say, "Oh, I got great
Mm-hmm.
art and now I'm getting great followers for that too." It's overall, I have to have a good, interesting, unique looking channel on top of creating good quality content. You don't have to be the greatest player, I feel like, in the
You
world. Not
don't.
everybody needs to be, TSM Imperial Hall or
Right.
Lulu or NRG Ace. Like no one has to be that every time, but I feel like if you create good content mixed with a good unique style that's your own, devoting time,
Mm-hmm.
devoting money, all of these things together, and I feel like that's how a channel would grow. And for me, it's trying to get all of these pieces into place, if that
Mm.
makes sense.
It does make sense, totally. I mean, you know that there's a certain look to these successful channels, and so you're saying, what? How can I even pretend that I'm going to be taken seriously if I'm not even competing in your first glance? Um,
Right.
this is something that I've gone through and thought about. I think every streamer and every creator thinks about it, because there is an essence of kind of like that higher tier product. The second you glance at it, there's a difference between looking at something that is from Louis Vuitton and something that's from Kohl's. Like and it's not a problem. You just know that there's a certain level of quality, finite kind of clear decisions being made in order to represent something.
Right.
Whereas, the other thing might just be a shirt and some pants. No problem. It's just I'm not noticing them amongst any other shirt and pants, which is kind of where
Yeah.
the gaming industry is. So so you can be really on point with this. But my question is, if you had it all, would your growth be handled? And kind of, I'm asking you this to reflect because a lot of people I know that are in content, they focus on two or three things and they go, if I handle that, then I'm in the right spot. But then when they handle that, they realize, okay, maybe it's actually pretty similar to before. I do look better in my content, but I'm still not getting the growth that I want. And I guess the
Right.
better way to look at it is, what are your goals? Would you like to make, $500 a month or more streaming? Like, is it like, I would like to create a second income from this? Or it's like, what, however it happens, as long as I'm putting my best foot forward, I'm happy just spending time doing this.
I would definitely like to be a full-time streamer that's making a decent amount of money.
Right.
You know, I would. I mean,
Yeah, man.
and I don't see why that would be impossible for me. It's just, or for anybody for that matter, it's just willing to put in that work because it's hard work. It is. I mean, it took me over a year just to pick up affiliate.
Right.
And I got mine legitimately. You know, I didn't have my Twitch channel pulled up on a tablet in the other room and on a computer in the other. Like, I had to work and I networked hard and I don't know. I like
Well,
it's tough, but I don't want to
it's
give it
tough.
up.
It's tough, man. And here's the thing: you've got something most people don't have, which is just commitment. And you're committed, and you have a purpose. You have a purpose in life. You have 3 beautiful children. You have a wife. You have an experience that most people will never be able to understand. That's helped mold you, which is being a part of the Army. And you are in this journey about a year in. So it's not like you've tried for a few months, didn't get suddenly famous, and then gave up. You're willing to put the work in. So, my job is to try to help you figure out, if you can, a way to put work in more efficiently than you are and focus you on the right things. Because I do see this a lot. A lot of people focus on just the right idea, but the wrong way to go about achieving that idea. And
Yeah.
that's what I see the biggest mistake with most creators. And, nothing I'm saying is to not get the result that you want, which is to do this, make money from this, support your family. Everything that we talk about here, I just want to make it clear when we're in these discussions, because it's not going to be critical. It's just going to say, here's maybe an opportunity for improvement. Just know I'm trying to help you out. You know what I mean? We're trying to
No,
get the same goal.
by all means, be critical because I feel like no, and I mean that
It's not my
honestly
brand,
because
man. It's not my brand. Come on.
I understand it's not your brand, and I should expect that because I mean,
Uh,
you're a great guy. That's part of the reason why I follow your channel. I follow your YouTube. I mean, you are genuinely a good human being,
I
but at the
appreciate
same
that, man.
time, one, I'm in the Army. I could take it.
You can take it. I know you can. I know you can. I
There's
know you
nothing
can.
tougher than basic training,
I
unless of
know.
course you're a Marine. But I mean, the critical people being super critical on me is what I feel like has really pushed me. I mean, prior to me joining
Mm,
the Army, I was 250 pounds, pushing 255 in high school at 5'8". I was
mm,
severely overweight,
yeah.
and I actually had teachers tell me that if I did not go to college, then I would never make it. I had classmates always telling me that I'm just too fat. I was never going to make anything of myself, and these people being critical on me, telling me I would never do these things. I instead of letting that just break me down, I took it, and I know it's cliche, but I took it and I used it as fuel to just be like, no, you all are wrong. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna
Yeah.
make something of myself. And people told me you can't join the Army, and I'm like, you know what? No, screw you. I'm gonna join the Army right out of high school. I'm gonna join, and I lost. I lost over 20 pounds to join, and then
Wow.
in basic training, I lost over 40 pounds. I graduated basic weighing 180, and then um, and I just look back and I'm like, I did it.
Wow.
And I
Yeah.
don't care what any of you all say. I proved you wrong, and I will always prove anybody wrong. So by all means, if there's something and you're just like, hey, look, Mystic, this is what you really need to do, and this is
Right.
where you're lacking, tell me that, and obviously I'm not telling you don't be yourself.
No,
I
no,
mean, I
no.
love you for yourself, man, and I know you're not going to change for anybody, which is great.
You know
But
what?
by all means, give me that
I
criticism. I
got
need it.
I got
It's
it.
fuel.
I love it, man. And you know what? Your story is you have a great story. So what I would lead more with is your story of who you are, because I think that's going to separate you more so than anything, right? You talk about this banner and this channel art. That's not going to actually separate you. Being completely
Yeah.
honest,
Yeah.
you only really care about a banner or a channel art, and this may be your case if it is bad. If it is bad and detracts from what you're doing, that's the
Yeah.
only time you should give a lot of energy. I made my first banner by myself. I paid someone probably $50 max for logos and this and that. I've done stuff on Fiverr. I made my own thumbnails. Go to the first videos I ever made. You'll see my videos were getting 400 views. They now have about 3,000. That first video I ever made. But I made that thumbnail on a free thumbnail generator, and it was bad. They were all bad for a long time. I got used to bad, thinking I was good. And when I grew up into these different, like, you know, when you're at 10K, you get into a little different competition, different YouTubers at 10,000 to 50,000. Then you're in the 100,000s, and it's a whole new game. And then you're in the multiple hundreds of thousands, and this is all these people who have proven they can do it, and they're trying to get to 1 million. So then you start separating yourself from these up and coming serious YouTubers.
Yeah.
It all changes, and it is important to have a look that represents where you are. But right now you're just starting, so people don't have a high expectation. Let me be honest. I don't see a channel with 90 followers or with 6 subscribers and go, what the heck? Where are they? In fact, if you had the most professional looking whatever, I would probably be more shocked than anything. I'd be like, why is he investing so far? He hasn't even figured his content out. So I think this is a good thing for me to know your story a little bit, because what I'm looking at is someone who wants to do things against the grain. Someone who's gotten really good at doing things against the grain when people told him that he couldn't do it. And that is a superpower, my friend. That is one of the best things to do. I know it because I have it. I was not on the games that I wanted to be in college. I was drafted, but it ended up being that this one coach said this thing about me, so they were going to spend 6 months with me at the second program over in Virginia, and I was going to have to work my way back up to the starting team. There were so many different moments where I was not the guy that the girl chose, or not the dude that got the vote of confidence when someone else strolled in and got it. And I was like, oh, heck no. In fact, I made myself do YouTube because I wanted to control my future so much that I said, there's literally no one who can step in my way if I just make a video and put it online to the internet. Like, my quality will decide it. So here's where I want you to remember that your quality will decide it, and that skill is going to help you when you're down, because every YouTuber has to go through the downs. You've already been through downs, but you can make it easier on yourself by doing a little bit more of what's already being done. Early game, you know, it's like a MOBA. It's like Apex early game. What do? Do you go for triple kill, quadra kills early game, or are you just trying to get a shield? Just trying to get some ammo. Just trying to get the right weapon. That's all you need to be focusing on now. So let's look at your early game, because you're still in the early game in terms of, like, you know, numbers and stuff, right? And audience. Right. So YouTube is probably the biggest thing I see a lot of streamers forget about. Like, I'm looking at your videos here, and you've got 6 subs. Walk me through kind of like your thoughts on these videos, because they're about 2 to 4 minutes. I'm seeing the last few. Some are longer. You kind of went for some shorter ones now. You had a year break, and now a 10-month break. Have you just given up on YouTube, or what's the story about why you're not uploading?
So when my wife became pregnant, earlier in the year and late last year, she has rough pregnancies. So a lot of it was, okay, I got to put the games down, which is the natural thing to do. I got to take care of my wife.
Right.
And so it's just, that's when my time started being constrained. And then right around April, I came down on orders to attend advanced individual training again. Gotcha. I was being medically reclassed out of my old job in the Army into my new job. And so I had to go away to Fort Sill, Oklahoma for right at about 3 months. And so I didn't have my computer with me then. And it was just, I couldn't create. I missed almost all of season 9 for Apex.
Right.
And I got discouraged. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, the rest is all, yes, it's taking care of my wife. It's a very valid thing. But for me, I was just bad at content creation. And I was like, oh, I'm not making good content. And like I said, my channel was full of all pretty much raw and edited footage. It's just,
listen, man, listen, I've heard that excuse a lot, but most of my earlier videos were not edited at all. I didn't really have the time to edit. Raw unedited footage is great. I mean, you look at a lot of these streamers and they put out videos. Yes, it's slightly edited to jump cut to the next moment they're killing people, but there's not a lot of editing that's needed when you're playing a game, to be honest. Right. As long as you're getting something worthwhile in the game. So another question, it seems like your last broadcast 16 days ago that I can go, did you just start back up 16 days ago?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is new. Yes, yes, it is. I went from an average viewer rate prior to me leaving for, my new school in the army. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I think I was sitting right at around 8 or 9 viewers, give or
Mm-hmm.
take.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm struggling to get, up to three again. And I understand, it's a grind and having to network and everything. But yeah, I just recently started back up. I just recently got back with my family and
Well,
everything. So
congratulations on getting through that journey, man. Because that's a lot. That I'm sure that taught you a lot, and it taught you a lot about sacrifice. But there's also now you're back on it. Now you're doing it. I'm gonna give you a clear suggestion from what I see. I would focus way more on how many times you stream in a week,
I'm trying to stream at least 3 times a week.
and you try to stream in the evening or some odd times or
Evening is usually the best. That's when my toddler, my almost 3-year-old son is down for the night, and
yeah,
he's a toddler. He's got energy. So during the day, I'm devoted to helping my
right.
wife, which is yeah. So
So
yeah,
it
three
sound
times a
it
day in the afternoon.
it sounds like Rojas. If I'm being completely honest, man, there's a little bit of I'm caught up in life a little bit. So some of the
Yeah.
things I would do to really jump this off, um, I kind of put towards my family as kind of like the right thing to do. Um, and there's nothing wrong with that. My dad was that kind of guy as well, and I love him more than anybody in the world and take after him in many ways. Um, but then there's also this kind of like, well, I want some different results from what I'm getting, and now I'm kind of getting my mind ready to go back into this grind that seems like is going to be a very tall mountain to climb the way that you're doing it right now, correct?
Yes, sir.
So here's what I would do, man. I would think about it. Let's get out of what you've done, because what you've done, no offense, what you've done has not worked yet for you. Like, you don't have 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. You don't
Right.
have 1,000 viewers, right? So let's just say that, beyond being honest, it hasn't quite worked the way that you're hoping for, right?
Yes, sir.
So let's look at something that you could do, because I think the problem is Twitch is not going to get you more viewers than you already have.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people just think hours equals viewers, but where are those viewers going to come from?
Right.
So networking is good too, but again, say 10 people from my stream start watching you, which I hope, guys, follow him. I'm going to follow you. But the problem is, have you ever done something like that on like an app or follow for follow, or sometime in your life kind of just
No.
followed somebody because it was like you were kind of told? Did you ever go back and start watching their stuff? Because
No, follow for follow. I was told before I even started my Twitch channel from buddies who stream that have decent subscribers and whatnot, over 1,000 on some of them. They were like, "Do not do follow for follow. It
Right.
doesn't work."
because the truth is, people aren't motivated by that. People are motivated by what they want to do, correct?
That's right.
And what gives them value. Do you watch a show every night and spend hours watching TV that you don't like?
No, definitely not.
Right. So the show gives you some type of value, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's what you have to start thinking about for why people would watch what you're doing. The biggest thing I see most Twitch streamers, and this is like for everyone in the chat as well, the biggest thing I see most Twitch streamers and content creators struggle with is that what they've done hasn't gotten their results, and they're so committed that they're willing to grind through the mortar and pestle of just existing in the content creation ecosphere without a big break. And my thought process, my theory is that you make your first break by concentrated, focused, intelligent decision making on what people want to see, whether it's you or whether it's PewDiePie or whether it's Asu or whether it's me. You're making content people want to see, and you're interchanging you for the person they would normally watch do it.
Right.
That's how you get your first viewers. So let's, first of all, no more Twitch streaming for no reason on Twitch for hours, because we already talked about your time is valuable, right?
Yes, sir.
So you got to start making sure those hours start scaling up for you. So you need to be in a scalable situation. Are you on, I see that you're on Instagram. I'm going to talk about YouTube, obviously. Are you on TikTok?
I am not on TikTok.
Get on TikTok.
Okay.
There's no better use of time for you, I think, than to build an audience than to start posting on TikTok, because you could do TikToks about anything. They could take a minute long. I this year I did 3 TikToks a day, every day, plus for us a TikTok live. I'm doing it right now. I did that for 90 days in a row, and I didn't have anybody. I mean, I was like you. I had maybe a total of, I don't know. I guess I had done it before, but I basically started at 0. Maybe I had a couple thousand from earlier TikToks I'd made, but I took a big break. 100,000, something a little over 100,000. Now, I know how to make content, so that's helpful skill, but I want to just say that from a growth perspective, if you make good content on TikTok, you will get an audience, and that can help translate to Twitch. So I would say TikTok is something you want to start throwing into the mix, even if it's once, twice, 3 times a week. Start doing with that. Even my dad's doing TikTok, so I would say 100%. I would say get some TikTok out there. All right, that's
Yes, sir.
one thing. Secondly, do it with the intention of building your brand, that these people who watch your TikTok will want to come watch your stream. Because like the way I'm looking at what you're thinking is like the real key to wealth for me and to do this as a side income would be to stream and get my stream big, right?
Right.
Now, one thing that most people don't recognize is that, I was very much taught when I was older about residual income, and TikTok and Twitch, unfortunately, is not residual income. Twitch is very much dollar per hour. So your value is based on how many hours you put out and how big you are for those hours.
Right.
For Ludwig and for Asu and Hal, those hours are worth tons of money, thousands of dollars. Right. For people who aren't there yet, it's exponentially lower because you're not making really almost any money and you're still putting in that exact amount of time. So the bigger you are, the more that Twitch stream scales your value.
Right.
But so that's just the thing, something to think about, which is why in my plan, I always focus on YouTube first, because if you're a big YouTuber, you could just say, hey guys, I'm doing a Twitch stream with a video. And if that video gets 100,000 views because you got a big audience, suddenly your Twitch stream will pop off. So YouTube is a way, I think, to create a hub that can allow you to be a lot more flexible as a creator. Twitch streamers don't always have big YouTubes. I know million subscribed, million followed Twitch streamers whose YouTubes are like, they look like a back alley, man, with like trash cans falling and cats running around, like VODs with no thumbnails and just 800 videos uploaded a day. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, sure do.
I mean, they look like Death Valley out there. You're like, oh, I ain't going over there. I'll just catch you next time you're live. And and however, on YouTube, I think it's got this really easy strategy for you to get some value early. So what would you say? Let's look at how you can take advantage of YouTube and TikTok a little bit more. What would you say? There's usually 3 types of creators. There's educational creators, there's entertaining creators, and there are really just pro creators. So essentially, I'm so good, I'm going to frag out, and I don't have to say a word because my gameplay is going to say it all for me that you're never going to look away from the screen. 2, I'm educational. Like, I'm here to help you. Here's the newest tip. Here's the newest trick. Here's what's going to get you better from A to B. Here's what's the new news, maybe, like, so that and you're aware of the new patch. And then there's the entertaining. Everything I say is a joke. People are always laughing, always memeing. People just watch me, and it's kind of like watching some celebrity comedian. It's just funny. There's just, for some reason, it's just entertaining to be around. You could be doing anything, and it'll still be fun. So what like kind of path would you want to take? And you can combine 2 or 3, but like, what's your primary and maybe what's like your secondary that you'd like to go down?
I feel like my primary would definitely be education, not only towards like Apex, but like just like kind of a lot of like life issues in general. Like I take a lot of things very seriously. Mental health thing, probably the biggest thing that I take seriously.
Oh, that's great.
And I like to be down to earth with people, and when I like it when my chat can come in and they tell me about their day and they tell me what's going on in their life, and I can just tell them, they're like, hey, look, this is what I've gone through, and not to downplay what you're going through, but like maybe I can help you with, by explaining to you what I did in the past to overcome obstacles and whatnot. And then, on the video game side of things, on the Apex, I started season 2, and oh my God, my stats, they were terrible. I didn't even break over 1 KD, and being able to look at my season 2 stats and now my season 10 stats, I see the growth, and I've learned tricks that helped me get better. And I like to be able to pass that knowledge on to somebody who's maybe new to mouse and keyboard, and they you know, because mouse and keyboard, it's a big difference from console.
Mm.
And I like to be able to gift a little crumb of knowledge here and there. And then at the same time, I like to be entertaining. I like to be able to crack jokes with my chat, and I like to, you know, and some people they look at somebody if they kind of rage a little bit on stream, they're like, but like for me, I kind of rage, but it's a little funny,
Right.
you know, because it's
You
like,
got that humor rage, right?
yeah, I got that humor rage kind of thing, and it's like at the end of the day, yeah, I'm raging, and I'll say, oh, you know, teammate, you know, why'd you do this? But it's like I never want anyone to take it seriously, like, oh,
Mm.
like Mystic is an actual just like jerk of a guy. Like, no, like that's not me.
Right.
You'll catch me, I'll crack jokes, and my jokes, I crack dad jokes, okay? I mean, they're terrible. They're terrible
Yeah.
jokes that I crack, but I think it's funny. I think it's funny to be able to crack just an awful joke and people just be like, "Oh man, that's terrible," and they give me the Fs in the chat or whatever. And you know, I think it's just funny.
Well, listen, man, I think you have a lot going for you. When you said education, that connected for me. Sometimes you don't know how we're seen. To me, you come across as a very humble, self-aware, and kind guy. Those are the kinds of guys I like to watch. Tell me about guides, tips, I would say news. I like watching them do Let's Plays.
Right.
That's for instance, great person to think about is a great YouTuber, goes by the name, let's look, Heroes of the Storm. He was a Heroes of the Storm YouTuber, and MF Pallytime. And he's now doing Pokemon. I think he gave up on that game. That game went out. It was unfortunate, but he literally would do A to Z guides on every single character in Heroes of the Storm, which was a MOBA. And I would watch him simply for that, because sometimes you want to get off, you know, your normal path. You want some more content, maybe longer form content. And he's got that nice voice that gets you where you want to be.
Right.
Yeah, thanks for muting, Sensory. So what I would say is this: you come across as a guy that would excel in that lane. So I would try to own that lane, to be honest. You know, you could be all these other things. You could be entertaining. You could do, that's just butter. You know what I mean? Like that's just on top of the steak, which is the meat of what you're doing, which is education. Now, here's why that's important. When I go to your channel, I'm gonna bring this up. When I go to your channel, I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't know what the heck it's about.
Yeah. No, I mean, I understand.
Let's just be honest. I have no idea what this channel's about. You're running Sea of Thieves. You got an anime avatar, and you're one word. You know, you got 4-word Apex Legends videos with no thumbnails. I'm like, what is this? Would you subscribe to you?
Oh, definitely not.
Right. So most people wonder why I'm not gaining subscribers and why I'm not getting discovered, when the truth is, it's like, yeah, I wouldn't even subscribe to myself at this point.
Yeah, it's bad. I've definitely neglected my YouTube. So.
Right. But see, when people go on your Twitch stream, what you don't know, and this is like if you're not like if you're dating, but I mean it is kind of if you're dating this day and age, people gonna look your name up. They're going to see, what does your name say? Unbound Mystic. They're going to see your YouTube. They're going to see your Twitch. And they're going to look at your Twitter probably if they want to know a little bit more about you, and Instagram after that if they don't have the answer. So people are trying to figure you out, because a subscription nowadays is much more important than it was back in the day. For whatever reason, subscriptions don't come as easily because you're not always getting an opportunity to be in front of people. The algorithm's deciding who you're going to get in front of a lot more clearly. So you got to assume, like I did, every video, every thumbnail is the chance, the first and maybe last chance I will ever get in front of this one individual who's going to see my video. So am I going to convert them? And just that thought alone, man, will help you to content gauge on what's going to be worth it for you. Because you put out a video that's nothing, minute 45, and you just hope it does something. It's 45 seconds too long to be in the shorts algorithm. So it's like, you got to understand like what the game you're playing, because maybe that is a great short, but it's not in the shorts algorithm because it's over a minute. So that could get you a 10,000 views. You know, I've got shorts doing absolutely nothing that have 1.4 million views, brought in thousands of subscribers. That could be your start right there. But you got to understand what you're doing. And I think it's maybe just a more unconsciousness. You kind of said, I'm doing family, I'm doing this, I'm not even thinking about my stuff. But now you want it. So let's think about it and let's figure out how to get you what you want, man. Because I would love to see you and those 3 kids and those twins, you know, living it up, having more time at home, making money on the side, having to work less hours, supporting the fam. That's the dream, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's the dream, man. So let's get it. It isn't that hard. You're absolutely right. The one thing I would do, lean into education. I would lean into how nice you are. I would realize that, yes, your banner needs to change, because not that it's bad or low quality. It just doesn't make sense. Like, I need a reason. If you see a movie that says Spider-Man No Way Home and it's like, you know, Planet of the Apes, there's just like a big monkey on it, you'd be like, what? What the heck is this? What are you talking about? Is this new Marvel direction? I'm not sure. So, but if you see Spider-Man swinging in, and you're like, okay, great, that makes sense. So get away from being disjointed, collect your brand and where you're going. I would say focus on shorts, man. It's one way that you could really easily take some of these clips that you've already made without pretty much almost any editing and get a better swing at the bat than almost any other video that you're going to do. Because shorts are what YouTube wants. Shorts are easy to pop off. When they do pop off, they pop off big, more so than any video you're going to do. The chances of you uploading an Apex video randomly and getting 1 million views, it's like almost impossible. It's like pretty much almost impossible at this point, because everyone already knows what kind of Apex content is successful, and everyone's already doing so much of it, and they already have big audiences. So, however, shorts are in this category where you can put out a random short that's pretty funny, and you can get 100,000 to 500,000 views. And you won't make much money off of it, but those people that see that content might be able to get redirected to your stream. Right. And then they might be able to sub to your YouTube channel, and you might have 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And that's it, man. All I would tell people is get your loyal 1,000. Because if you get 1,000 people liking and watching every video you do, that video is going to get boosted to more people. They're going to find you out, and more people, they're going to come to the stream. So I would focus on that. Start adding some shorts in. That short can then be posted to TikTok. So you're doing 2 for 1, because I know we're focused on time and you don't have as much of it. And if you want to stream, think about it like this. I'm creating a stream, but I'm also creating short moments that would work as a short. So that when I'm on there and I see an opportunity where I could rage and it would be kind of funny, and like there's a moment that could happen, make it that moment. And then clip it yourself or add a stream marker and go, okay, cool. That's going to be a funny TikTok. Right. Because those are the things that have algorithms right now that are beneficial to any content and new content and not established creators.
Makes sense. Definitely. 100% capitalize on my time and the moments, doing those 2 for 1s on YouTube and on TikTok and yeah, I see what you're saying. 100%.
What number would make you, if you could be making, let's give yourself 12 months. How much money in 12 months from now would you be happy making and say that is unbelievable? I'm in heaven.
Honestly, if I could clear it, and it's kind of hard to answer that question just because I've made nothing.
No, but you know,
yeah.
Like, listen, if I took $1,000 off your rent, that would be a game changer, right?
Yeah, honestly.
So you know what that number, what in your life, what would be that number that you go, man, and this is from my side job gaming, that would be huge. What number is that?
Honestly, if in a year I could make at least $1,000 off of it, then I would feel, not a month, but in a year. So say, $100 a month.
$100,
if I can make $100 a month, which I don't want to come off as someone who's like crazy, you know what I mean? Because I have never made anything. So I feel like 100 would maybe be a realistic starting point if I get that following. But if I could clear 100 a month, I would feel like my time wasn't wasted.
So
essentially,
let me give you a better, let me be very honest. I know it sounds like a lot because you're not making anything, but I'm asking what would make you go, not like, okay, well, I didn't screw up and waste my time. What's that number that you go, yeah, that's the number I need? Like, yo, $500 a month, that would be a game changer. That would, if I could just get that, I would be cool. And then anything else above that as I grow would be gravy. But what's that number where you go like, this is helpful to my life, and I'm definitely now cemented to where I need to now, like, I can start comfortably moving forward on my own schedule and make sure to prioritize my
It'd be
life.
300.
300 a month.
300. Yep.
Yeah,
300. That would set me up comfortably with being able, because I'm not living necessarily paycheck to paycheck, but I am
Yeah.
living with only $100 left in my account at the end of every paycheck.
Hey, we've all
And
been
if
there,
I can,
man.
if I can be like, oh yeah, at the end of the month, here's 300 extra dollars, whether it's for gas because I had to drive a little bit more, or
Mhm.
it's I want to get my son this new toy because we passed by it in Walmart and I don't want to break his heart by having to keep walking past. If I could clear
Yeah.
300 a month, that would be amazing to me. But then again, I am a humble.
No.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
See,
You're right.
here's where I think. Listen, man, I'm
You're
gonna be
right.
honest with you. I don't know you. I appreciate you. We were just meeting right now. But what I'm
Right.
seeing is a guy who's worked his butt off, got 3 people to take care of and help take care of, and is worried about stepping on anybody's toes or appearing not humble or appearing like he's getting too much in the world. I'm gonna tell you right now, man, that one mentality is gonna have to leave you if you're gonna make this thing happen.
Gotcha.
Because you gotta own it, man. People are subscribing to you. You know, they're subscribing because you're telling them out of nowhere, hey, I've got value here. And when you set it up like that, you got to believe it too. Otherwise, people are going to be like, I'm not sure if I believe them.
Right.
Look at every content creator you follow and you like. Are they like unsure if they're valuable content creators or if they're funny or if they're good or if they're...
No, definitely not.
They're not, right? Because it doesn't, because people who are in that middle ground, have talent and hard work, but they have this one thing that's missing that makes people feel uncomfortable about being a part of that community. Just being very honest. Have you ever seen someone jump on stage in an open mic situation, they got put in the spotlight awkwardly, and then they're very awkward about handling it, and everyone else feels awkward?
Yeah.
Have you ever had like that secondary awkwardness? Chat, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Where you
I'm kind of having it right now because yeah, in a way. Because I'm not gonna lie to you. I took a picture of the fact that I'm in the Discord call with you. I sent it to my wife because she's a huge fan of yours too. And she opens the door and she looks at me. She goes like, "Is that really happening?" And you're like, "Yeah, it is." And I'm like kind of over here, just like, so yeah. I mean, I'm experiencing it right now, where it's like I've been chatting with you, and everything, and it's kind of like I kind of feel as if like, oh my god, this is really happening. Like I shouldn't be here.
You feel like you
I
shouldn't be here, right?
I walked into a VIP section of a club, and I'm just this guy with a general access wristband on. You know what I mean? Like,
right. It's a funny analogy, man. I think you represent what so many people in the world represent that I've worked with and I've talked to and I've seen is there's a lot that keeps us from achieving what we want because our vision of ourselves isn't big enough to go enact what it takes to do that in reality.
Yeah.
It's a really powerful thing to be aware of that. And I think just even getting a glimpse of it, not figuring it out. Thank you for the sub, by the way. I'm glad you're here. Maybe we can get this conversation a little later. We'll see how the day goes. But just by getting clear on that, that's, to me, what I found the most important. The second that I realized that, I came into this with a level of confidence about myself. Maybe it was from earlier stuff. I've kind of not been in my life where I've had to prove my performance. I always stood out, and I was always pretty good at stuff I cared about, like sports, right? And like games.
Yeah.
And I was actually a top performer most of my life. So then when I had a good career and I did a lot of things and I kind of had success in multiple areas, when I did YouTube, I was 25. I had lived 4 different lives and careers that have been very successful. And I was coming in at like, well, I mean, the average person just starts a YouTube channel at home. I've actually lived, and then I got I went and got into gaming. I got into esports. I worked at a game studio. All of these things have helped me to feel like, listen, man, I know almost 0% of people who are have my pedigree of stuff they've done. So I feel like I should be here. But if I didn't feel like I should be here, and there are times where I do, and there's times where I'm hitting my upper limit and I go, but why don't I have 1 million subscribers yet? And those are the things that I have to look at in myself. Because it's not about like you get to this spot, man. You're going to get to 300 and then it'll go to 350 and then it'll go down to 200 and then go to 1. And then you have a month where it's not so great. And then you'll try to figure out, all right, well, how do I get my next bit of momentum? this is when you figure out the stuff I'm talking about right now inside of you, that is the stuff that really holds you back there. It's not your video. It's not your stream. It's not your content. It's the stuff you say about yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the story we kind of all tell ourselves, because when I got big on Apex, man, and when I really grew, my biggest time growing and really covering a tier 3 game, I had never covered a tier 3 game. I'd never covered League of Legends. I covered Smite. I'd never covered Overwatch. I covered Paladins. And it's kind of funny, but the truth is that there's that question mark inside, am I ready for the big leagues? And you there's no way to know until you do it, but you got to believe it, because people will write you off unless you do. It's like you are in the VIP and the bouncer keeps looking at you. If you keep squirming, he's going to be like, wait a second, hold on, let me go get this guy. Looks like he's up to something. He's not supposed to be here. Versus if you have a beverage in your hand, you give him a head nod, cheers, tips to him, and he looks away, right? Because it's like the person who's supposed to be there or not. And that is an amazing thing to lean on, man. That confidence. I think especially if you're going to get into help content, man, that's something I would say try to lean in.
Hopefully
telling
this
people
works.
Here is what to do with Bangalore. Because everyone's kind of faking it. There's no right answer to what to do with Bangalore. There's people who have more experience or not. The second I learned, this was a big lesson for me too, and just to kind of cap it on this, I realized that what I'm teaching isn't for the 5% of people who are better than me at games, who are better than me and who are more accomplished than me in life, who are more good at editing, better at all of these things, more intelligent, done more school, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for the 95% of people who aren't.
Right.
And however long you've played Apex and followed Apex and done this, it's more than 95% of people. Twitter represents 0.1% of like a game's population. Yet it's the most vocal, and it acts like it represents everybody. The truth is, there's people who come home, they don't even know Twitch streamers. They play Apex for 30 minutes and they leave. And then they'll play a character, they'll look up a video, and they don't know. They just want a guide. So when you do that, man, hopefully it's kind of like looking at the audience a little like they're naked. Like, it's like, hey, man, all I got to be is good enough to teach my close friends who don't play Apex. Because that's the majority of people in the world when you start doing content like that. And I did that, and I relaxed, man. I'm like, somebody's going to get something from it. And you'll see the comments start going in, oh, man, I had no idea. Use the smoke and then use a digital threat when they're in this. Dude, you changed my whole game. Like, Timmy would look at you like that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. But that's because they get all the attention. What do I have to
teach Timmy?
Yes.
Like, what do I need to do?
You're not teaching Timmy.
Yeah. No,
you're teaching anybody else. Like, that's the thing. You're not teaching me or yourself. You're teaching people who can't get there. And it's like, we don't devalue kindergarten teachers or 5th grade teachers. You know what I mean? Because they're doing a very important skill, and you have to learn that stuff to go to college. You have to.
That's right.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm not an advanced pro teacher because I'm not an advanced pro. I haven't played professionally, but I cast it so I can help guide people. And let me tell you what, man, you can speak more eloquently and basically, I think, articulate your thoughts better than most streamers out there. You're at the higher average of that. So let's not forget, we've all had teachers try to teach us a subject, and not everyone gets through the right way. So communication skills are even more important, and gamers, on a majority, have less of that than other places. Gamers aren't really like communications experts. You know what I mean? So you've got several things going for you, man. I would say stay confident. Focus less on the art. Those are just reasons why you're not doing it. Start really doing it. Put in the work. Put in the videos. Do some shorts. Start building an audience and make sure you're really clear. Here's my value proposition. This is what I do. I'm helping this. I help you grow to this and that. I'm starting a series. I'm covering every Apex Legends character and how to play them and how to do this or blah, blah, blah. Find something that you like to do, that you would do no matter what. Heck, I mean, I was just playing Gods and Smite, and I said, hey, I mean, if I can make my 30 minutes of video game time before I have to go do something else valuable, like even I make $10 off it, that's all I need, because, now I'm paying for my video game time. So find that thing though that people are gonna go, this is why I subscribe to this guy. And if you lead with that, I think you'll be right on your way, man. $300 a month realistically is about, I would say you can make $300 a month easily within a year if you get above, honestly, once you get to 5,000-10,000 subscribers, you can get that. And it really doesn't even matter. It's more about your views, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, you probably don't live in this world, but if you made a viral video that went out tomorrow, you would make way more than $300 tomorrow. It can happen right away. But rather than counting on that, I would just try to build content that the search algorithm is going to find that is going to allow you to be more evergreen, have people find real value on you, and then say, I really do want to subscribe to this guy because I want to see the next thing he's going to do, because this is a lane of me wanting to improve and I want to like keep in touch. So yeah, alpha value, and keep being you, man. Tell your story as you're offering value and having fun. Like, show that personality in and out of those videos so that people go, okay, there's depth to this guy. I like this guy. You know, oh, he's been in the army, whatever it is. There's a ton of people in the army who are into games, man. That's another that's another niche you've got that you could totally connect with. So get creative, get out the box, man. Your goals, man, are totally doable. But I would just focus on, you know, consistent ways to get them done versus kind of hoping your stream pops off, you know, one of those 12 hours you're streaming.
Right. 100%. You're right.
Let's talk again soon, man. I want to hear how things go. Keep hanging out on the stream. I appreciate you. Thank you very much, brother. I send my best to the wife and the kiddos, okay?
Definitely. Well, hey, I appreciate you letting me talk to you. It was a huge honor to talk to you. I mean, you're a big inspiration for me. And yeah, man, I mean, really, thank you so much. I took this advice to heart, and I'm gonna take it. And how to play crypto. That's probably gonna be my first video.
Let me see it. Let me see it. I'm excited. And don't forget news, man. News, new things. Try to get in that search algorithm. You know, sometimes it was some 2-3 a.m. nights for me to try to beat the system. But one big way for new people to understand it is to get ahead of the game in terms of what you know you will be searching for. You know, so
100%.
if you're looking for the new patch or the seer nerfs, or, you know, comment on those things. Get yourself in front of eyes that wouldn't necessarily look for you, but they're looking for the content you're producing. That's just another thing to keep in mind, brother. All right, man.
Thank you so much again.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Unbound.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
All right. That was Unbound, guys. Go give him a follow and check it out.